Little flock. With bags that never age. For the unpretentious kingdom. Welcome to our channel that compares themes from the Gospel and Franciscan Sources. Today we talk about the Franciscan evaluation of material goods. Considered by the founders to be a sort of useless burden for the mind and heart. Illusions that weaken our ability to grasp God who reveals himself in simplicity. For a more complete overview of our human, cultural and spiritual proposal, we suggest you visit the website juvi.art. Luke 12 verses 32 to 48. Jesus exhorts his little flock to fear nothing. Because the Father has given value to the little ones, his intimates. The Lord encourages us to give alms. Not to accumulate treasures on earth, soon consumed, but in God, because eternal. In the life of the poor man of Assisi, we find these themes reiterated over and over again. Francis was sorry to have to leave his flock exposed to dangers, to the ravenous wolves after him. But in his heart he also had the certainty that God would protect it and make it grow. Through grace he would become heir to the kingdom of heaven. Faith told him this. In the sources, the very prerogative of not accumulating is at home. Since Francis, throughout his life, thought only of giving back what he had received. Starting from his father, to whom he even returned his clothes. Following the path of poverty naked. His coveted wealth. The minimum had his mind and heart turned towards God the Father. And sought only the kingdom of heaven, in simplicity and purity of heart. Evidence of this is given to us by one of the passages in the sources. We read, "These visits to the lepers increased his goodness." Leading a companion of his intimates, whom he had loved very much, to out-of-the-way places. He told him that he had discovered a great and precious treasure. He was very happy about it and willingly joined Francis, when he was invited. He often took him to a cave near Assisi. He entered alone, leaving his friend outside, who was impatient to get hold of the treasure. Animated by a new extraordinary spirit, he prayed in secret to the Father. He suffered unspeakable suffering and anguish in his heart, for he could not find peace until he had fulfilled his vocation. Sources 1409. On his way, in the middle of winter, in Salerno, the poor man gave his cloak to an old woman. He said to her, "Go, get yourself a dress, for you really need it." Sources 673. In harmony with the Fathers of the Church, for example Saint Ambrose, Francis and Clare considered the excess restrained as something taken away, and therefore robbed from the poor. Both, as true sons of God, nurtured in their students a greater freedom from material illusions. They lived and testified that the more did not belong to them, and therefore it had to be donated, as a form of justice towards those who were deprived of everything, but also justice towards oneself, as souls not captured by what is not essential. Writing to her spiritual daughter, Agnes of Bohemia, Clare attested, "You who have preferred poverty to temporal riches, and you have entrusted your treasures to heaven rather than to the earth, where rust does not corrode them, woodworm does not consume them, thieves neither discover nor steal them. You will receive a most abundant reward in heaven." Sources 2866. The theme of wealth to be shared, of not holding back. and of giving back to God and to our brethren. It was deeply felt by the founders, and was one of the guiding principles of their journey of faith. In the sources we read, once, while returning from Siena, he met a poor man. It so happened that Francis, due to his illness, was wearing a cloak over his habit. Looking with merciful eyes at the misery of that man, he said to his companion, "We must give the cloak back to this poor man, because it is his. In fact, we received it on loan, until we happened to find someone poorer than us." His companion, however, considering the state in which the compassionate father found himself, opposed a clear refusal. He had no right to forget himself in order to provide for others. But the saint, "I believe the Grand Almoner will accuse me of theft if I do not give what I wear to those most in need." Sources 1143. Sell your possessions and give alms. Make bags that do not age. An unfailing treasure in the heavens. Luke 12 verses 32 to 48. Thank you all for your kind attention. Please subscribe to our channel to stay updated on our activities. If you liked it, leave a well done to support us. Subscribe, give your precious like, comment, and share with your friends. Thank you, join us. And see you soon.